Hello. Hello, my name's Henry Lang and I'm a psychotherapist working in Bristol. And today I want to talk about blaming the parents. So it's a cliche, isn't it, that in therapy we investigate the effects of our upbringing and therapists blame the parent for the client's unhappiness and difficulties. And I want to speak to that for a moment. Most people feel guilty talking about their parents and what effect they had because their parents also loved them. And how I like to approach this is that everybody's parents were a girl and a boy who grew up to become a mum and a dad, and they didn't know what they were doing. None of us know what we're doing. We don't have a manual on how to be a good mum or a good dad. We're only as good a parent as our awareness of what good parenting is. So when I'm working with a client, and this is my ethos that I think actually all therapists should have, is that your mum and your dad, bless them, let's put them outside the room, sit them in a comfortable chair, give them a cup of tea, and see them as human beings that also deserve compassion and respect. And then let's shut the door and understand, what effect did their parenting have on you? What are you still working with that was left from their parenting? Because for sure, when you're small, your mum and dad are the mother god and the father god of your world. What they reflect to you about yourself and the world deeply affects how you grow up to see yourself and how you relate to the world, to other people, places, and things. So it does really matter. But we can investigate how you've been impacted by what happened, by what your parents were like, the beliefs they held, the behaviors that how their behaviors impacted on you without having to condemn them. And I think that's really, really important because if we're blaming our parents, if we make them the bad guys, then we are a victim of bad people. And that sets up an inner tension that isn't in the long run useful. We have to come to an understanding that our parents were who they were, and it is now our responsibility as adults to understand what the lasting impact was of their parenting. And only we can do that. Now, having said that, let's be clear, some parents are abusive, some parents are criminal and do terrible, terrible things. And we're not bypassing any of that. We're not letting people off the hook if they did things that were criminal or they did damage for which they need to be confronted and made amends or possibly reported. But for everybody, no matter whether they had decent parents who didn't get everything right or they had abusive parents, the only really healing landing place is to understand that they were who they were and they were working with their own content. And we are, as adults, we are separate individuals. And if we want to be happier and wholer human beings in the world, we have to understand what impact that had on us. And only we can find new ways of being in the world that feel healthier.